Well, also, I mean, what a surprise. You've got to send out a search party to find this story being reported in Australia. But for the third month in a row, jobs were being created in the United States. Now, is the number still way too high on unemployment? Of course, I'm not pretending not. But in the entire presidency leading before COVID was about 7.5 million jobs. Basically recovered by about 7 million jobs right now. Latest month turned around was 1.8 million. The same couple of months ago was a little bit higher, and the same last month. So jobs are slowly coming back, and the expectation was because of second wave or new states, maybe things would start to, dump into the toilet even harder this past month. But I mean, green shoots, all the rest of it here. But again, you can't even find the story being reported because, God forbid, it's a good story that 2 million people got a job that they didn't have in the previous month.
Well, Paul, we're right into the election season and the media is entirely polarised. It's really hard to get data. I mean, I'm finding myself watching, the financial media more than I am the mainstream media in order to find out what's really happening, because the financial media actually have to report the facts because it matters to the markets. Whereas the more mainstream media they interpret a lot, but they don't report the actual facts, and that's very frustrating here. So you have to work really hard, to try and find out what's happening. And there are green shoots in the US. I mean, simply, throwing the amount of money the Federal Reserve has thrown into the US economy has to have an impact. It has to have an impact, and there is investment. There's a vast amount of money looking to invest not only in the United States, but I must say in Australia as well. They look at Australia and they say, you guys seem to have it right. What can we do to invest more in Australia? Because we think over the medium and long term, Australia is a really good investment option, and it's a particularly good option given the deterioration in the relationship between China and the United States. Australia is a really good place to invest as a potential launching pad into Asia. And sensible money is looking for job opportunities. But of course, the message of hope and the message of optimism gets drowned out by the loudness in social media of the critics and the loudness of pessimism.
Yeah, not allowed at all. By the way, the stock market is back to where it was in February of this year. Okay, so think about all that giant dip back to February this year. Biden was going to do it last week. He was going to do it the week before. Supposedly going to do it this week. Are we any closer to the man in the basement telling us who's really going to be the president for the next 4 years if he wins?
Well, yes, inevitably we are getting closer. Sorry to do that. But the thing is, it's quite interesting because he's running ads now saying, if you want to be the first to know who my vice presidential candidate pick is, text your number here, send me your email, and you'll be the first to know. You'll know ahead of the media and everyone else. So it's quite clever. And I haven't really seen it done in Australia, in that you're building up your database and you're building up your potential donor base. Because if you're watching Joe Biden on TV and you think, oh, yeah, I'd like to know that, then all of a sudden you're providing your personal details to the Biden campaign, and away they go. And the fundraising, and of course as a foreigner I'm not allowed under law to give money at all to American candidates, but you can still sign up for emails and text messages. And I must say, Paul, it is relentless. It is absolutely relentless. So what Joe Biden's campaign is doing is it's using the nomination process as a way to build its social media database, and they'll keep it going until they get the numbers they want in the key areas they want, and then they'll announce the candidate. But bear in mind, it is mid-August here, as it is in Australia, but it's mid-August, and in mid-August in the United States is the equivalent of early January, and in Australia, where it's the peak of summer. People aren't paying a hell of a lot of attention to politics. I think Biden's now kicked the can down the road a bit and probably will be a few days away from announcing it.